Dream sequence. Oh, I see. Got a little disco ball.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
What is this?
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
I remember nothing, or I was born in a hospital where people usually go to die. It's childhood, though. You don't remember your birth.
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
You said... Who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth?
Tell me what this is. I'm not answering before you tell me who you are. You said who, I left, or I was left. He blames himself. That much is obvious from this clipboard of hatred. But does he blame himself because he made her leave? Or because he did it? No. He doesn't seem like the kind that would leave, if that makes sense.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
Adjusting a couple things. Admittedly, I walked away from the game for like a week after that 7-hour recording session. I was not expecting it to come back quite so heavy. How do we want to play this, though? Because the information that we have from Harry here, as that seems to have been finalized as his name, is that whatever the circumstances, he downright hated everything that was about his life. And it seemingly had a bender where he didn't really care if he woke up the next day or not. Probably didn't want to. But the question is that guy still this guy? Or did that guy die? And now this guy has to take over. Because if it's this guy, he wouldn't want it back. And the other one also wouldn't. So this is the only answer. I don't want it to come back.
They were only cramping your descent into the abyss. Now they're gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. All of it. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
What is Elysium?
Everything. The pale and the useless. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry.
1,000 years isn't all that much.
6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I've talked to you before.
No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do. Even in your dreams. And the actor's wearing thin. The spots of the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time. Sweating up the bed.
Don't wear shoes on the bed.
Stinky boy.
You deserve that if you wear shoes on the bed. I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
I'm trying to solve the case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type?
Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too, so soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork, barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Woohoo! Oh boy. Healed health. Healed morale. We're fine. Really could have fixed this bed, though. Oh? Electrochemistry. Good going, buddy. My god, what the hell was that? Oh, just a dream. You have ones like that all the time. Feel even worse this morning than you did last night. What the hell's going on with me? You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think. So why is this happening? It's just that your heart's finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Volition, medium failure. You're too weak to say no now. Waking up's the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline. Wait, what is this speed? Speed's a potent central nervous system stimulant. Kept you propped up all day yesterday despite your debilitating head hangover. How else did you think you even got up from the floor? It's power, man. Professionalism. Makes you feel like you're young again and ready to detect. Ready to go to war against the world. No, I don't want to go looking for speed. I know what Volition said, but I don't want to. I'll take the hit, if that's what it does. You sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically a week. Let's be honest, 2, maybe 3? You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then, and you'll be fired. Who am I kidding? Of course I want some. That's a lie. I can do this without the speed. Half the town won't be dead. Suit yourself, slow, sad shell man. See how you do without your spark. Electrochemistry is mean. Mirror hangs on the bathroom wall in front of your face in order to the expression. I cannot attempt to fix this. But if I had the tool in my hand, I could try to use the chain cutters to fix the faucet and stop the steam. Just woke up, 7:30 in the morning. I don't remember the controls. at all. Chain cutters. Tools. That is 10 for the tool not being in your hand, by the way. Even 42%. That's good odds. That's bad. That's bad die roll. The chain cutters slip out of your hands as you attempt to twist the faucet into place. You know one thing for sure, you're probably not a plumber. We'll be back. Yeah, I probably could have found something to increase my thing, but this is 7:30. We don't think it's 7:30. Matter of fact, I just remember there's other stuff that I could do that I forgot to do. Like... where is it? You have things in you. Like these case files that I totally should have read before going to bed. Logic. Takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. What one do you want? Next world mural? Unsolvable case, square bullet hole, couch in an unexpected location, murder at the hookah parlor. Let's just go down the line. Next world mural. This one's relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Coron. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible, only in the next world, for new people. It's too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class." What? People call it that thing, and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles, and in 2 days, the station's complaints desk talking's still hard. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the Bells of Traz have the litterage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the Next World mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown. Read on. The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare... whatever that word is. Plebiscite? Organized by you and the rest of Road 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rumbling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options, it's saying it's too late for people. In any instance, it's not. If you say it's fine to give up, you're a hell of a lot less likely to actually do anything. Remove it. Staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority. And that love truly is possible in the next world for a few people, and it's too late for us. All that remains is to wreak havoc on the middle class. Middle class are not to be blamed, it's human nature. I like it, but can we wreak havoc on other nations instead? I must have voted and possibly even lobbied to remove the thing because I don't believe in that rubbish one bit. It's... I don't like that. That feels wrong. I think that they're doing this an economic twist instead of a... Yeah. Never push for quitting. Just don't. If you do that, you've lost. You know? Okay. Mechanically, this is simply a money thing. So, from the money thing, we wreak havoc on the middle class. In any case, it appears to have been a rare case of civil activity in the quarter. An agreement as well. What do you want to tackle next? We'll get to this later. Later, Ledger. Back on my left hand. go find Kim. Probably downstairs already. Controls, point and click game. Bunch of people over there. And Kim has something to say. Good morning.
Morning.
He gives you a quick nod.
I've got some good news.
The lieutenant
I took
smiles.
care of the body. The thought of him decomposing in my MC wouldn't let me sleep.
Good. Thanks. I'm just glad he's gone. We have other matters to attend to. Interfacing medium success. Oh well, look at the armored boots in another lifetime. It's okay. They're just shoes. Even though they were really big shoes. He points to the mess hall doors. The Union muscle finally turned up. They look rowdy. We need to talk to them. What do you mean by rowdy? I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union, and these men here. Men who drink beer for breakfast. There's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for said policing, and I believe it is them. Are these the men Gart told us about yesterday? I completely forgot. He looks at his notes. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them, by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One task complete, find out who is the Union. Find out who is in the Union box. Gained experience 30. One loose thread is less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it. He crosses something out. Why do we need to talk to him? Everything points to the dockworkers union. The belt used for hanging him, tracks in the mud, the circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information. Which may, of course, I'll be wrong, but we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy. There's a bunch. Maybe we should call in some reinforcements? That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debonair's union. Going to sneeze. I can feel it. Wah. In fact, even the death of two detectives might even warrant an all-out war. Might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay? Let's roll. One more thing before we do. He glances at the booth again. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them. Continue with our business. Reaction speed, easy success. Yeah, streetwise, zoom right past, do it on your own terms. Logic, easy success. But aren't you curious to know what they may have to say about them? They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me. Yeah, I think you probably had the right of it there, Kim. Hello there.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager. Composure, medium success. She's agitated, and judging by the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway.
She turns back to you with a weary smile.
Glad to see you again, dear.
Good day, ma'am. Is everything alright?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
What's up with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
Interfacing. Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask him, maybe. Why do you need to use the phone, though?
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night. But they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
She looks down. Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
Shivers, medium success. The cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweetened it. Somnolent. A damp chill goes down your spine. When you look around, you're still in the whirling in rags.
But you have more important things to worry about.
She glances at the window toward the bay. So what kind of expedition was your husband on? Just some field work, sweetie. Morel's a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant, Gary, are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the waterlock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. She sighs. What could be keeping them? Logic, the waterlock. Could this be that? Wait, who's this Gary person? Do you trust him, or the waterlock to the other side of the coast is broken? They're probably just stuck over there. I don't want to freak her out. So the waterlock is probably just broken. Oh my, what happened to the waterlock? You may not believe it, but it looks like some maniac crashed his motor carriage into it. Wouldn't you know, it's blocked by a big butter billboard. It fell right into the water. Probably just some technical problem. It's blocked by a big butter billboard. Oh, sweetie, if it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're welcome, ma'am. I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband. Inland Empire, medium success. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. And if you see him, let him know Lena's waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the waterlock's been repaired and it's cold out there. If I see him, I'll let him know you're here. When or if I get there. Oh, you're such a sweet dear. Thank you. So, your husband's some kind of scientist? Oh yes, she says with a pinch of pride. A zoologist, a cryptozoologist to be more precise. What is this cryptozoology? It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends. The lieutenant sounds unimpressed. That's one opinion, yes, and people are entitled to them. Composure, medium success. She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her. My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby. It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology. One specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species, called cryptids, is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research. Empathy, medium success. She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own. Tell me more about Morel. Looks, character, relationship. Oh dear, I'm not sure where to begin. What's he look like? Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but very gentle. It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world. Let's try again. If I were trying to meet him on the street, what would I look for? Well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame. And he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even. The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description. One other thing. He'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds. You know, just in case. How long have you two been married? We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Her smile's soft. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more, somehow. How'd you meet? Via a dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are. She smiles wistfully. Reaction speed, easy success. She's skipping over some parts, but maybe you'll find out later. Thank you. That's all I need. Let's move on. Tell me more about this rare insect your husband's looking for. Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating, she catches herself, but I shouldn't bore you with entomological, that's a word, minutiae. Minutiae, however, easy peasy. Entomological, too many T's, I guess. The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance. If you're looking, yes. They both have one D. No, I want to hear about the bug. Well, she hesitates. It's a phasmid, technically, but... Ah, yes. Phasmatodea. A diverse group of insects whose body resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially. Ah yeah, here comes the interesting. Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself amongst the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers. She looks you in the eye and nods thoughtfully. I knew it. The lieutenant sighs. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists. It's not made up, officer, I can assure you. It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all. So what makes you think it's here? Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, and there is a brief article in the local newspaper about their encounter of a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping. So a newspaper clipping is all you got? Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly. They didn't even know what they were looking at. Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses. You seem really excited about this cryptid. I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses. Does it have cool powers? Yeah, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. Her face lights up at the thought of it. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even. Is it dangerous? She chuckles to herself. Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully? Okay, so what's so special about the stick bug then? Oh dear, I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. The woman's face flushes with embarrassment. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure. Can we fail a 72? Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids. Yes, we can! You're an enthusiastic idiot, but you're still an idiot! I want to know everything about cryptids. Living cryptids, extinct cryptids, marine cryptids, land cryptids, bring it on! We don't have time for Cryptozoology 101. Let's get back to work, shall we? Man, that's all for now. Hey Gart, why is the phone broken?
Can I help you?
That's the bill for tonight. 20 real. If I just not yet. So the phone line's dead? Yes, and the phone company is taking its sweet time sending someone to fix it. He shakes his head and adds, losers. That's pretty strange. It's not strange, it's inconvenient. Is it true there was foul play? He wrinkles his nose. I told you that. I would never disclose my sources. That would be dishonorable. Fine, yeah, that looked like someone had messed with the wiring. It was shortly after the hanging, but I don't know if it's all related. Plenty of assholes around here who aren't murderers. If you do find out who cut the line, though, let me know so I can forward them the repair bill. Alright. Let's get out of here. I will see about making things do better later. Money on the counter! It's mine now. Yes. Those of men in overalls toting guns and Union placards. You see hawthorn bushes outside. There's a bowl. Spit in it, reeking of tobacco. I feel like I better just give you all a wide berth for now. What's up, dude? It's all about the money. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this area is now all taken care of, right? Basically. I don't want to engage with that thing right now. You mentioned a phone. I guess I can run back to what's-his-butt and see if I can access the phone there. There's a lot of stuff over here I haven't interacted with at all, too, but let's just focus on our current objective. In case of strike, press button behind card. Oh. Already been through there. I'm probably going the long way. Also, it's snowing today. Let's see, what do I remember? Next to nothing. I know the story. The story so far, anyway. Somebody got murdered. We got sent to investigate it. They believe it was the Union. Or related to it. At least that's how they were hanged. And it appears to be anyway. Hey there, big guy.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Alright, let's take some damage. I opened the door you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now? I'm very glad to hear that, Harry, he says with a smile. One question, you didn't actually happen to stumble into it inside the apartment, have you? I saw a collection of racist mugs, if that's what you want. Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated mug collection. What a weasel. He shakes his head. Pissing on Everett's Rainbow Coalition. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed and why. He pretends to roll up his sleeves. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good. Found a similar mug in the trash, actually, with the hangman's clothes. Racist mugs in the trash and the apartment? He grabs his head with both hands. You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I believe you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best. Helping people. With the power of politics. Ugh, why did I do that? Yes, yes. You think this weasel's somehow connected to the murder? Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. He shakes his head laughing. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you. But this weasel might have cleaned up after the killers. Believe me, Harry, it's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks, and I feel like a real detective might know, Harry. Am I getting this right? He imitates bashing something with an imaginary baton. There's more to police work than whacking an imaginary baton. Of course, Harry, I'm not a real police officer. You are. You said the lynching and the strike are related. How? By now, I'm sure you figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys, Wild Pines, sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flat caps. What do you mean? Harry, this strike is the culmination of many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries. You mean our victim? He nods gravely. A security contractor, can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they sent hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire. Composure, medium success. He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun. I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in USAT, Seminine, those other made-up countries. You name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Ravenshaw into a third-world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant. Hold on. You have a village elephant? Now, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the marks in their brutality are very real. Could have fooled me. But go on. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, I just move it. He laughs. Wait, they moved the container? Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun, you should try. But enough about me and my fun container. His face turned serious. The killers the company hired. I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, and a little rapey. He shakes his head. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who was hanging out by the tree. By negotiator, you mean Joyce? Harry, he says, ignoring the lieutenant. What you need to realize is we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, he raises his finger. We push to kill. And who did the pushing? There's a militant wing inside the Union, a group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you guys, he nods to you and the lieutenant. Idealistic people who want to make bad things don't happen, who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow. So these idealists kill their victim? One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land. He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him, he chuckles. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation. Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this? Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. He chuckles. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them. Empathy, medium success. If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried. How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company? How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. He slams his fist on the desk. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gate. So you believe the scabs were organized by this security contractor? You said it, hell. The fist slams on the desk again. One of these guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes. He's not scared of them. If anything, he likes them being here. Strange. You mentioned a lawyer girl. Oh, Liz is a bright one, he grins proudly. I paid for that law degree myself. Thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy, but hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal. And there's Titus and his crew. Oh, they are simply fine young men. All 7 of them, exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement, core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. He starts laughing. Gotta love his initiative. Interesting. Who's second in command? They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Ravachol in mind. Work with them, hell, interview them, but don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets. Where are they? At the Whirling in Rags. You passed them. In the future, I could use your backing. Can you ask the Hardy Boys to cooperate? But of course! It's the least I can do for my good friend, Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk. Authority. Trivial success. When you meet this Titus, tell him about this, see what he has to say. Also, Harry, here's 5 real. He holds out a banknote. Why are you giving this to me? I'm not giving you anything, I'm just holding out 5 real. Okay. Thanks for your help with the Hardy Boys. I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out here. But I am willing to share information. Was there anything else? Good talk. Why is it a good talk? He leans back, suddenly worried. I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even want to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also want you to find your gun. Great sadness comes over him. But it's like I can't completely trust you yet. Yet? Yes, Harry, it's like I can't fully trust you. If you're not a man of the left, he says slowly, shaking his head, I want to, but I just can't. Man of the left, so you have to be a social democrat? He's empathy, easy success. He's been hurt too. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats. I'm not a man on the left, I'm a patriot of Ravachol. You're right, not to trust me. I take care of me. I'm a hustler, I grind, I'm a money engineer. What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are. This is another corrupt scheme, right? I'm not left or right. Do what my heart tells me to do. I am, however, more left than he is. You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine and I need to get a message out. Will you help? And what would this entail? Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal. You just need to get the 2 little signatures on this piece of paper and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta. Kim, what do you think? It depends. I don't think what we got from Mr. Clare was very useful. But he thinks it's your call. As I said, it weighs on me heavily. He bows his head in shame and looks up and smiles. But once you get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martinez. And maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing. What are the signatures for? I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth center in Martinez. He grins broadly. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry. And the current occupants? They're just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings, right next to a fancy new youth center designed by the best architects from Stella Maris. If I happen to be there, I can ask them. You bring joy to my heart. Such a pleasure to be working with you here. You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter, the cul-de-sacs right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there's some trouble with the water lock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you had the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Roca in the Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist. He runs his fingers through his thin hair. He called me Mr. Dubois. Why? Of course, let us dispatch the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry. That's what's that the hanged corpse called you. So that really is my name. My god, it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? He shrugs with an amazed expression. What are the odds of that? I think the odds of that are very low. Memory's fine. Just a little test. So good to hear that, Harry. Apparently my sources were wrong. He pats the brown folder in front of him. However, you did have a spot of memory trouble. I could help. However, if you did have a spot of memory trouble, I could help you out with my big fat folder. Perception. Just a brown folder. Can't make out what's written on it. Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents? The lieutenant inspects Everett over his spectacles. Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? His eyes never leave yours. Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now. Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing. Where'd you get the folder? Ah, this. He closes the folder. My friends in your organization gave it to me. Find that very suspicious. May I have a look? I'm afraid this is meant for union eyes only. Mr. Kitsuragi, I'm sure you understand. He turns back to you. Please continue, Harry. Him suspects something. Know anything about my family? Wife, kids? Family? Harry, you're not a family man. Not one peep of family in here unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as one? No. That's why I like you, Harry. His fat fingers pointed at you. A good man knows both his strengths and his weaknesses, and you are one of the all-time greats. So, if you know everything, what's my full name? It's Harry. He glances at the folder. Harry Dubois. Wait, I thought you are Harry Dubois. No. Okay, I like it. I can work with that. I don't really like it. Okay, I can work with that. And I can work with you. He raises an index finger. Now, what else can I do for you? Does it say what kind of cop I am? Well, Harry, he turns a couple pages in the folder. If I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic. What? Yes, he inspects you over his giant bug-eye glasses. You seem to be a lot of the time. But right now, there's no reason to be. Let's let loose a little. Be you. Don't make me lose another 72%, please, game. Dick! Everart's large hands are covering the folder, but the look on his face says, I know everything about you, Harry. I ain't got nothing to hide, man. Oh, Harry, he peeks into the folder as if it's hard to turn away from the mysteries inside. This is really something. I'm sure it's not that bad, the lieutenant whispers. At worst, he has an old RCM folder, which I very much even doubt. But how about it, Harry? He leans back in the chair. You need assistance, I presume? Other matters? You want to tell me where my gun is? Yes, your lost gun. His face turns serious. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found. Let me assure you of that. He winks at you. It's just a matter of time and effort. The only way that seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage. Hold on, could he really hold my gun hostage? Who knows? Only one thing certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back, and working with him might be the only way to do it. I will not be blackmailed with this gun business. Harry, I was only trying to be tactful. A lost gun is a dangerous thing. I can't have it around in my neighborhood. His tone is suddenly very serious. Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be arming themselves. Get a hold of yourself. I assure you, we are working on locating the missing sidearm as well. Esprit de corps. The lieutenant is concerned about the lost gun and feels that the fact you haven't prioritized looking for it is unfortunate, if inevitable. It doesn't put the RCM in a good light. Let's leave. You take the legal documents out of the envelope. 1240 month construction. Period zone. Zoning placement. Let's not look at that until we're out of the office. Not that it's likely that it can tell, but just in case. Get 2 from Edvard, find morale. Oh? Do I have a point? I have a point. I have 2 points! I don't know why. You have to always be about failure and hatred. Cannot pick up the card. And it's not even a check, it's just no. Don't like that. Okay. Anything to say, Kim?
Yes?
Nope. Alright. Actually.
Yes?
Because sometimes the trees have... yeah. Now that we've inspected the scene, I want to know more about this pissing competition you mentioned. What's to say? It's just stupidity. What kind? The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. So we've let the Union to make a mockery of law enforcement here, and now it's come to its natural conclusion. Ah, so this is a struggle over who runs Martinez. Sort of. It's less of a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th. I can tell you, the time to settle it, they said. I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But, and he leans in, I assure you I am not their finest or toughest. With 102 cases solved. What I am is least interested in a pissing competition. Still, you volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness, on the contrary. So I wonder what that says about me. He raises an eyebrow, thinking it best to let you make the next move. Best to let you make the next move. There can only be one conclusion: the finest case-solving machine sent to outperform you in every way imaginable. Must be an augury, an apocalyptic omen sent by my people. Can you guess my message? Don't be scared, but I think I might have supernatural abilities. I probably have an unbelievable kill count. I'm gonna leave why I was sent unspecified. Don't be scared, but I think I might have supernatural ability. He opens one hand and closes it, looks at it, a moment passes. What school do you subscribe to? Mambo? He opens the other hand, or Jumbo. Or Jambo. Jambo isn't even an option. Mambo, I have a vivid interior, I see and feel things. It's always good to have a police officer who can see and feel. Was there anything else you wanted to ask about the competition? If not, we should move on. Alright. Let's move on. Logic formidable. 13. Why did the 41st send me? +1 for sorry, Cap. You failed me 3 times in a row and over 70% chance. You know what that means? It means this 28% fucking bullshit is what it's landing on. Success. I'm so mad right now. Look at you! It's because you're a failure. I sent you to Slight Precinct 57. No, that can't be right. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late wearing piss-stained disco garb. You weren't sent here to win. Cam, what if my precinct sent me on this case because I'm a fuck-up? As a joke. I've considered it. His voice is somber. But it's not true, right? I don't think I can say one way or another. I do think it's somewhat unlikely, though. Why? I checked the records. The jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time, we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think, yes, both stations would prefer a win. Heh. So you are their finest. I am the finest of nothing. You really see me as a safe bet? Safe? No, but you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet, but it is there. So no, I do not think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise. Thanks. Alright. Let's get a move on, as I get lost in the map. No! Go down the stairs! Go down the fucking stairs! There we go. It's a little bit uncooperative. I did steal the photo from the night guard. I should go present that. I think it's the guy in the French. And the man who wouldn't let me have a sandwich. Not that I even wanted all of a sandwich. Just a bite. And it would be our sandwich. And I have no desire to speak to the incredible racist giant. Even if they do have interesting things that they could potentially say pertinent to the game. Fuck that noise. And for some reason this union boss is trying to get me to sign over people's houses at probably a loss. Because, of course they would. It says GRIH. Greater Ravishall Industrial Harbor. Makes sense? Guy is huge. Let's not get involved. The store that I couldn't find the thing I needed in. Racist lorry driver. Interfacing. In the morning light, the white on blue police livery on the motor carriage cannot but catch your eye. Wait. Why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to do something important? Something murder related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. Encyclopedia medium success. This is a Capri Kinema, the Capri Motor Corps follow-up to the highly successful workhorse Capri 40, and the answer to LUM's racing bred Fevre series. With its air-cooled rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression engine, ignition engine driving in the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Kinema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds, and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers per hour. Won't you roll over in the first sharp corner? The high centers of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Kinema effectively a mobile power plant. This tech talk's really rubbing me the right way here. Sure. Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery. That machine really puts the loco back in locomotion, pointed at the vehicle. Very cool. I don't like your machine, Lieutenant. It looks impractical. A motor carriage, one of many. Nah, he likes this car. Let's be into his car. Very cool, man. The lieutenant smiles ever so slightly. You want to take a closer look? What's it packing there? Point to the engine. What in there made that infernal whining sound that woke me? Fine machine. Run your hand over the smooth metal surface. What's it packing day? 130. I reckon it's a 7-liter V12. 7-liter V12? 7.2, supercharged. The lieutenant is trying to suppress a smug smile, unsuccessfully. Saying these words brings him joy. What in there made that noise that woke me? You mean the coil noise? Coil? When variable current passes through the wires that make up the coil on the electrical systems on this machine, it causes vibration in the wires and in the cores of the coils. When the frequency of the current in the coils falls within the audible range, the resulting vibration creates the whiny sound you mentioned. What a binoclard. Wow. How do you know all that? I have pretty much maintained my vehicles by myself ever since one was assigned to me. You inevitably pick up some knowledge on the way. There's pride in there. A train driver knows his ride. A fine machine, run your hand over the smooth metal surface. Yes, there's gentleness in the lieutenant's voice as his eyes run over the vehicle's contours. An extraordinary machine. Electrochemistry, easy success. It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it, flare it up, slam it down. Alright. Enough about the details. Anything else? Let's move on. Make Kim happy. And we're at an hour. I have no idea where I'm going. Oh yeah, old people. We'll get there soon.